As we are all aware, Bitcoin and the whole crypto market got a massive pump up. It's now time to see where is a potential good place to go short. I'm not going to get FOMO'd. There is a bunch of people, as soon as you open up your phone, your PC, your everything, it's just going to be full of people telling you Bitcoin and crypto is going to the moon. It's the easiest thing for you to make money. Only thing that you need to do is buy. Now, that's very stupid, at least in my point of view. It's probably one of the worst things that you can do. I don't think you should buy now. I think you're very, very, very late if you want to buy. In fact, I'm going to show you why I personally think this is a decent area to try and go short. We're going to start off on the 8-hourly time frame, tracing a Fibonacci retracement from the high all the way down to the low. We're going to see we've made it exactly to the 0.618 level, okay, which is 72,200. I'm going to be paying particular attention to this whole area, okay? Now, I am fully aware this whole area is basically 3% wide. Why am I also including the 0.702 level? Because it comes in exactly above these little recent highs. That's why if we hit the 0.702 level, we would grab this little liquidity that we've got up on there. Apart from that, if we zoom out and we now trace a volume profile, we're going to see the value area high, which is this blue line, which is a fairly important resistance. It's going to be coming in exactly, like if I zoom in, exactly at 0.65 level of 73,000. Okay, so that's another reason why I personally think it's a fairly decent place for you to potentially, well, for me to potentially go short. If you know anything about fixed range volume profiles or volume profiles on their own, you might know that you want to go short on the value area high, you want to go long on the value area low. That's basically how it tends to go, and you go in a ping pong from one side to the other. That's basically how volume profiles work. And based on that, we made it to the most important retracement level. And I'm starting to see a very similar pattern to what we saw up there. If you remember, if you were watching, when we were exactly there, we decided to go short for the reasons that I'm about to share with you right now. If I now take all of this off, okay, and I now turn on some of the indicators which we have created, I'm going to head over to the daily time frame, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide some stuff so that it looks a bit less messy. We're going to go and press on the settings for our smart trend, and we're going to set the trend cloud to 200. This is an exponential moving average. It's not this purple line, it's this gray line. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this so that we are only left with a 200 exponential moving average. Okay, now one of the reasons I decided to go short when we were exactly there was because I traced a Fibonacci retracement from the high all the way to the low. I'm looking at this high and I'm looking at this low. We had a push up all the way up to my golden pocket, exactly where we had the 200 exponential moving average, and then we decided to go short. Okay, right now, what are we seeing? I mean, in my point of view, if I trace a Fibonacci from the high all the way to the low, we can see I'm hitting the exponential moving average. I've hit the 0.618 level. It's going to be crucial, really important to see how we close the daily candle of today. Okay, that's a really important thing, seeing how we close this daily candle. I'm sure you can see right now as well, we have got a daily fair value gap. You can see it says ghost fair value gap. Why does it say ghost? Because we've gone inside it already. Okay, so it's been hit already once. Basically today it has been hit. So that's why the 0.618 was a high reaction zone. If we go up a little bit more, you can see as well, daily strong fair value gap just on the 0.702 level, like I said, above these recent highs. This fair value gap hasn't been tested yet. It's virgin, just like this one is or was. And that's why I do think these two areas are going to be fairly important. So that's why I am thinking of starting to build some sort of short position for the reasons I've just told you right now. What we're going to do is we're not going to hide it. We're just going to turn it back as it was to 50 exponential moving average. Nope, not 52. There we go. And then we are going to move down the time frames. We're going to move over to the 5-minute time frame because we're starting to see something which is a sort of charting thing. I don't really trade it, okay? But it's basically like a Bart Simpson. You get a push up, spiky hair, and then another push down. So that's why I'm saying it's really important for us to see how the price actually closes today, what the daily candle looks like. If we are closing any daily candles outside the 200 exponential moving average, if we're closing any daily candles above the value area high, and then I would really like to see actually if we end up getting a push down and cancelling out the whole push up that we had today. Okay, why am I saying this is a Bart Simpson chart? Well, because if you just look, this is basically what the guy looks like. A push down, you got the little eyes, and that's basically Bart Simpson. Okay, I don't trade it. There's no like reasoning to why I would go long here or short there. It's just a pattern that basically cancels out the whole previous move up. Also worth noting, on the 5-minute time frame, maybe it's not the most relevant. 15-minute time frame, we got a massive fat fair value gap right there. If we go over on the 1 hourly time frame, we can see we have got a 1 hourly fair value gap right there, which I actually have no doubt that we are going to go and liquidate. Okay, and then we have actually got quite a few more fair value gaps, one being right there, another one being right there. We've got another fair value gap right there. We've got another one there. We've got a bunch of fair value gaps. So I am going to be, even if we're not going back down to 62,000, I do think we are going to get some sort of retracement. I don't think necessarily this one is going to hold too well because it's extremely close to the price. I do think maybe one of these two, or even this one, if we're really lucky, is going to give us some sort of a move. Therefore, if you are in the short right now, okay, because of the reasons I've just told you, because you saw the price went to the 0.618 and you decided to go short, I think one fairly interesting area, the first one at least, is going to see how the price behaves when you make it here, okay, which is basically 69,800 more or less. This was some sort of resistance, and then we broke it. So now in theory it should be some sort of support. We just need to see how we react to this area. Also worth noting, this push up that we had was to liquidate even more shorts. The price of Bitcoin started going a bit sideways, and then people got really excited and started going short, which grabbed, which liquidated even more people. And now we are getting this second push up. In this second push up, I do feel a bit more confident about going short. I am going short on Bitcoin. I'm a bit more scared of altcoins. I think they're moving a lot more erratically. I think they're not as safe. I think they're going a bit wham. I personally wouldn't really touch them with a stick. Let's move down. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum also insane push up. What was it, like a 20% move? Yeah, a 22% move. That is unbelievable. Let's go on the 8-hourly time frame. We can see something 0.618. Absolutely couldn't care less. We absolutely just violated it, just blasted right through it. But same as Bitcoin, we made it. I think we have made it now to the value area high, and we're finding quite big resistance on it. Okay, value area high is a really important area. Like I just told you, we were actually going long all of this base. Okay, if you watched any of my videos, this was an area where we were looking for longs, which is the value area low, and it made sense from the value area low to go all the way to the value area high. I maybe wasn't aiming so high up. I was maybe waiting for the 0.618 level and this high volume node. But do you know what? Bitcoin, Ethereum didn't really care much, and it just decided to get a push down. It looks like we're starting to build some sort of structure, which is good. Okay. We, like I just said a couple times, we have made it to a major sort of resistance. We just need to see what this develops into. If during tomorrow, today, and even during the weekend, if we start to see some sort of range going on, we can start to see some sort of structure, you know, maybe look for some scalping longs, scalping shorts, and then see if we manage to eat some sort of a bigger move down. We just had a massive push up. All of our RSIs on the 8 hourly time frame, they're overbought as hell. On the daily, we're not quite there yet, okay, but I don't really think we are gonna get an even bigger push up now. On the 4 hourly time frame, incredibly overbought with an insane amount of money flow. You know, I think we need to get some cooling off. Maybe we're not gonna get a massive drawdown, fine, okay. But what I do think is that we are gonna maybe go and cover this first fair value gap and even this second one, which actually conveniently, now that I look at it, if I go on the 4 hourly time frame, this fair value gap looks fairly interesting because it's where the point of control is. So this on its own looks like a fairly relevant area. We can also have a really quick look if you want something like Solana, see what Solana's doing. Let's go over to the daily time frame. 0.618 level has not been respected at all either. Okay, that's why I'm just saying that the shorting altcoins is quite a bit more risky. I would personally wait. Fixed range volume profile, we can see we could potentially get a bit more of a move up to $90. Actually, let me just adjust this. I'm not entirely happy with the way that this looks. There we go. Yeah, $90 I think would make some sort of sense. The RSI has got a tiny bit of room left, specifically on Solana. That's why going up to this level would potentially start to make some sort of sense for Solana. I think as well, if you wanted to scalp it, okay, if you're a bit more of a scalping trader, we did get a liquidity sweep. I'm just trying to see now. Okay, if I have a look and I trace horizontal line, we did actually get a liquidity sweep. So if you went down the time frames on the 1 hourly time frames, wow, okay, you actually got a money flow divergence on Solana, money flow divergence as well as an RSI divergence when you completed this liquidity sweep. So maybe that would be a fairly nice trade if you manage to go short there or somewhere there to just hold it up until around $84. This is a scalping move because, like I just said, it's fairly risky. Okay, it's very, very risky. We can have a look, maybe coins, BNB. BNB is one that's quite special. It's doing some fairly interesting stuff. I do think BNB is one that has got a bit more room to go up. Okay, tracing Fibonacci from the high to the low. If I can click it, for example, the 0.618 level actually comes in a very lovely place, which is in the daily fair value gap. Okay, we've got a daily fair value gap sitting exactly on the 0.618. And then using a fixed range volume profile, we can see a very similar thing. Value area high coming in exactly at the 0.618, basically in our golden pocket inside the daily fair value gap. That's why, like I'm saying, shorting and trading altcoins now, I think is quite risky. There's still room for some to go up, like this one, for example, could get another 3% push up. This does not mean go long now with your take profit there. I think that's really silly. I think it's better hands off, wait for some structure to be formed, wait for Bitcoin, and then trade it. Okay. Having said that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're making a lot of money with this, with these push ups. We'll see what the market does today. We'll see what the market does tomorrow, and I'll give you a market reading tomorrow as well. and then we'll see how we go into the weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.